Hey, what's up guys? I am back with a brand new video. I just want to say thanks to each and every one of you for stopping by my channel and watching my videos. I really do appreciate it, all the support and all that. Thank you very much. And I am reading some of your requests and I will be getting to those. And like I always say in the comments, if you have a request video, let me know. Today, we're going to be talking about some of my favorite thrillers. I actually have two stacks of movies here that are on VHS, Blu-ray, and DVD that I'm just going to talk about really quick that have to do with action thrillers, revenge thrillers, supernatural thrillers, psychological thrillers, all types of thrillers, okay? When it comes to the thriller genre, I mean, there are some damn good ones out there. But these are some that are just my favorites. So, let's go over them. First one I'm going to mention here stars Macaulay Culkin in The Good Son. Basically where, you know, he does a lot of bad stuff and his mom doesn't realize it until the end of the movie where she has to decide whether to save Macaulay Culkin or Elijah Wood. They're all hanging off a cliff. And she makes a decision. I'm not going to say who, but she makes a decision. And I mean, that's a crazy ending. This movie is crazy. It really is. And Macaulay Culkin, when it comes to his films, of course I love the Home Alone movies, but this is one of my favorite films starring Macaulay Culkin. So, The Good Son. Next one stars Tommy Lee Jones and Ashley Judd. Double Jeopardy. Now, basically, this is a movie where Ashley Judd is pretty much on the run from Tommy Lee Jones because her husband was murdered and he like staged his own death, and you know, she's basically being convicted of it. It's like The Fugitive. I mean, he's going after her. He's basically chasing her down. This is a really, really good film. Definitely one of my favorites starring Ashley Judd. But yeah, definitely a good one to check out if you haven't seen it. Double Jeopardy. Here's one of my favorites. It has an amazing cast. Directed by Ron Howard. You got Kevin Bacon, you got Tom Hanks, Bill Paxton, Gary Sinise, Ed Harris, Kathleen Quinlan. Definitely one of my favorites. And I actually have this on Blu-ray, but I just went ahead and just picked up the VHS version of Apollo 13. Really, really awesome movie. You know, where we're going to go to the moon, but they end up, you know, shooting around the moon, and there's problems on the spacecraft, and they have to think about different ways to solve the problems, and it hurts when I urinate kind of thing. Great movie. Really, really like it a lot. It's definitely up in my top 10 favorite Tom Hanks films. Next is up there in my favorite Owen Wilson films. And Owen Wilson strictly does, you know, he does comedy or like romantic comedy. It seems like that's his favorite thing to do. But this movie is underrated, and this is definitely one of my favorites with him. And it stars Gene Hackman as well. Behind Enemy Lines, basically an action thriller where he gets stuck behind enemy lines, and the whole movie he's sitting there, he's in contact with Gene Hackman, but he's sitting there running. He's running behind enemy lines from gunfire and people coming after him. I mean, it's really awesome. I had to get this on Blu-ray. I think at one point I did have it on DVD. But another good one with Owen Wilson is No Escape, which is kind of one of his newer films, but this one's definitely better, I think. Now here's one that's a psychological thriller that I was very, very impressed with. And I don't know, I wasn't too hyped for this film after I saw the trailer, but when I actually saw it, I really, really enjoyed it. A Cure for Wellness. It's got a crazy ending to it. But this is a movie where you can't really tell what's going on. You can't really tell what direction they're going. I mean, they're going this direction, then you think, okay, this character is going to be there and they're going to do this, but it completely goes the other direction. You don't know what's going to happen. It's really, really cool. I really enjoyed this one. Now, this is a movie that bothers me because I have kids. And this kid gets taken in broad daylight in front of a lot of people. And this was an amazing movie. It's adrenaline pumping, just nonstop thrills. Halle Berry and Kidnap. These people basically take her son out in the middle of, a bunch of people. Just take him and drive away in a car, and she goes after him. The whole movie is basically cat and mouse. She's chasing them down. And, the whole movie, she's in her van or whatever, and she catches up, and then she gets behind again. And then she catches up, and then, they actually reveal who the people are that took the kid. And then the third act of the movie, you get to find out a little bit more about these people. It just really hit home for me because of the fact that this could happen to anybody at any time of the day, no matter if there's people around or not. If you're not watching your kid for a split second, something can happen. I had a similar situation up at this thing in our town where I took my eye off of Landon, one of my sons. I took my eye off him for I swear to God, it was like 5 seconds. Not even 5 seconds. I turned around, he's gone. And he was over in this area over here, and he was crying. But see, that was my fault. I wasn't watching him. But anything could have happened. Someone could have walked off with him. Someone could have walked off with him, and I would have been hysterical. I mean, honestly, my stomach was up here. I was choking on my own stomach. It's a feeling that I cannot explain without crying, really. So, this movie really hit home for me. It's kind of hard to watch in some instances. Here's a movie that blew me away. I thought this was definitely underrated. No one ever really talks about it. Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. Basically, you have Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch in the same movie again. Wind River. Basically about this murder that happens out in the middle of nowhere. And I forgot where they are. They're in the middle of the mountains somewhere. And there's snow and stuff. And you have Elizabeth Olsen, who's a rookie FBI agent. She comes in and tries to investigate this murder. And you got Jeremy Renner, who's basically a hunter, who basically shows her the land and shows her things. This is really good. I mean, it really ramps up the third act. I really enjoyed this one. Definitely check this one out if you haven't. Of course, this needs no introduction. Unbreakable. I cannot wait for Glass that comes out in January. This is basically a supernatural thriller that has to do with superheroes. Really, really cool. Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, basically good versus evil. This was a mind-blowing experience. I remember seeing this in the theater, and I was just amazed by it. So, then of course I got to follow that up with Split. I thought this movie was fantastic. James McAvoy, out of the movies he has done, this is definitely in my top 5. He is amazing doing all these personalities in this movie. I just was in awe the whole time I was watching this. I love the story. I just love the twist. I just love everything about it. I hope Glass is just as good. For me, it's they got better each time. Unbreakable was fantastic. Split was, I think even better. And then hopefully Glass will be good. So, Split. Here's another one that surprised me. Jason Bateman, Rebecca Hall, and Joe Edgerton. The Gift. This surprised me in many ways with Jason Bateman's performance, because Jason Bateman is he's the same in every film. Whatever comedy he's doing, or romantic film, or whatever, he's the same. You just don't see him in this kind of role. This is a much more serious role for him. And I thought he knocked it out of the park. I was really, really happy to see him in another role. So, they call this a modern-day Fatal Attraction, but this doesn't touch Fatal Attraction. Okay, Fatal Attraction is one of the greatest thrillers ever made. Let's just be clear. Okay, it says modern-day Fatal Attraction. It does not even hold a candle to it, but it's pretty good. A lot of secrets that come, to fruition in this movie. So A lot of things happen. Here's another good thriller that it's basically an action thriller. There's not a lot of action, but when the action scenes are happening, it's pretty old school. Stars Tom Selleck, An Innocent Man, basically where, you know, Tom Selleck plays this guy who gets falsely accused of selling drugs and shooting at a police officer because these crooked cops break into his house. They shoot him and figure out it's the wrong house because they were breaking into a house for a drug deal going on, and they break into the wrong house and shoot him, so they frame him for covering up their mistakes. And so he's sent to prison for no reason. And he's got to deal with these crooked cops on the outside. Then he's got to deal with bullies on the inside of prison. These gangs of guys are like picking on him, and like they won't leave him alone. So he basically has to switch up his strategy and try to defend himself in prison. I remember growing up with this movie. This is a fantastic prison movie. If you like prison movies, I think you'll definitely like this one. I couldn't believe I found it on Blu-ray. Here's another one that hit home with me because I have kids. It stars Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Maria Bello, Terrence Howard. Prisoners. Hugh Jackman's performance is fantastic. I loved it. I loved him in this movie. Basically, Hugh Jackman's daughter gets taken and like out of the front yard. And you know, Hugh Jackman takes justice into his own hands and basically takes this guy hostage who drives this camper. And he tries to make him admit that he took his daughter and where he took her. And he like tortures the hell out of him. Meanwhile, Jake Gyllenhaal is a cop, and he's trying to figure out these clues to whoever may have taken his girl. So it's really, really good. It hits home more if you have kids. Just saying. Another good thriller starring Kevin Bacon and Meryl Streep. Another film that I grew up with. Really, really cool. Called The River Wild. Definitely one of my favorite Kevin Bacon films. Basically, you know, Meryl Streep's family, they go on a river rafting trip, you know, down the river, and they meet up with Kevin Bacon, and John C. Reilly's actually in this. And he has a much more serious role in this movie, too. Whether you can see John C. Reilly doing all this comedy stuff, he was doing serious roles before he was doing comedy. He was in Days of Thunder. He was really young in Days of Thunder. But Kevin Bacon is basically the villain in this movie. And I like when he plays the villain. I think he's a good villain. But yeah, really, really cool movie. Now this is one of my favorites. Kurt Russell, Ray Liotta, and Madeline Stowe in Unlawful Entry. Figure it out, asshole. 7 letters. Fuck you. I love this movie. Ray Liotta plays the villain. He plays a crooked cop who's in love with Madeline Stowe, who's married to Kurt Russell. And, you know, there's this good cop, bad cop situation. It is just fantastic. If you have not seen Unlawful Entry, I encourage you to see this movie right now. Now, here's a good one. This is actually one of the first DVDs that I've ever seen when DVD was first coming out. This is a special edition DVD with Elizabeth Shue and Kevin Bacon. Hollow Man. Basically where, you know, Kevin Bacon is a scientist and he comes up with this way to make you know, things go invisible. They start testing it on animals, and then he's tested on himself and he becomes invisible. But then he starts to get into it. He starts to like it a lot more, and it starts to make him crazy. To where he, you know, they're trying to fix him, but they really can't, and that he doesn't really want to after a while, and it turns him crazy, and he's kind of like evil after that. Really, really good movie. I remember the effects being really good for the time too. So, Hollow Man. Here's one that no one really knows about, and it's a sci-fi thriller. With Vincent Gallo in it, called Stranded. Came out in 2001, not to be confused with the other Stranded one with, I believe, Christian Slater. That one's called Stranded as well. This is an independent kind of film. They didn't probably make too many copies of these. Went straight to DVD. But this is a fantastic movie. These astronauts land on Mars, okay, and their ship is damaged, and they have to ration their food, ration their air, ration everything, and so they go out on the surface of Mars to see if they can find anything for resources, and they come upon this cave, and just look at, there's like some extraterrestrial life, but the third act of this movie, what they discover is amazing. I love the creativity that went into this movie. It says right here, 150 million miles from hope. Awesome movie. Here's an action thriller starring one of my favorite action stars, Stallone, in Daylight. No one ever really talks about Daylight. Basically, these people get stuck in a tunnel that's underneath the I believe it's the ocean or the river. I think it's the Hudson River. They get stuck in this tunnel underground, and Stallone goes down to save them, trying to find a way out. This has an amazing score. I don't remember who did the music to this. Oh, Randy Edelman. Yeah, really, really awesome action thriller. This is one of my favorite Robin Williams films. Definitely one of my favorite thrillers with him. He is such a good actor in this. Like he did such a good performance, and it is 1 hour photo. He plays this guy named Cy Parrish, who's a 1 hour photo guy, and he's obsessed with his family. And he finds out that one member of the family is cheating on the other through the pictures. He gets to see their life through the pictures that he makes. And so he attempts to try to fix what's going on with the family. And he considers himself part of the family even though he's not. Really, really good performance. Robin Williams, man, I wish the guy was still around. I miss him so much, like his movies. He lives on through his movies, let's just say that. Here we have Steven Spielberg's first film. This is definitely a cool thriller. Duel, about a semi-truck who basically torments Dennis Weaver in his little car through the whole movie. It's him in the car and this trucker. That's it. You better knock it off. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, my neck. Oh. Definitely a cool movie. Another one from M. Night Shyamalan is Sixth Sense, which is a supernatural thriller. Had a really, really cool ending to it. Yeah, basically, you have Haley Joel Osment who can he can see ghosts and stuff. So there's some really cool cinematography work in this movie. Here's a revenge thriller, Death Sentence. Notice I have a lot of Kevin Bacon ones. This is an awesome movie, man. His family gets murdered by this gang right here, and he basically shaves his head, gets an arsenal, and goes after them. This businessman, this regular guy that knows nothing about killing people. Really, really awesome. Now, here's one of my favorite Robert De Niro films. Nick Nolte and Jessica Lange in Cape Fear. An amazing soundtrack. I love this movie so much. It's a Scorsese film. Definitely awesome. I definitely recommend that. Here we got Schwarzenegger in End of Days, which is like a supernatural action thriller. Really cool, where he fights the devil. He fights the devil. That's really cool. Here's one with Kurt Russell. Another kind of action thriller, and his breakdown. His wife gets kidnapped, and he goes after the people who did it. Really, really cool. Another M. Night Shyamalan one, Signs. This is definitely one of my favorites. It has to do with aliens and crop circles, and Mel Gibson's in it, Joaquin Phoenix. Really, really good one. Here's one of my favorite Ashton Kutcher films of all time with Amy Smart, The Butterfly Effect. Basically where he jumps around in time by looking at this notebook, and he closes his eyes and he has like a seizure, and he visits different places in time. That's a really, really cool movie. Here we have Vince Vaughn and John Travolta in Domestic Disturbance. Another good one. The two dads, they don't get along. I talked about this one a lot. Hand That Rocks the Cradle. What do I need to say about that? That hasn't already been said. Another De Niro one with Wesley Snipes, The Fan. Definitely awesome. I love this movie. This is another one directed by Tony Scott. Really enjoyed this one. And the last one I'm going to mention here is Red Eye. Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams. Definitely awesome. So, out of time here. Thanks for watching this, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.